Hey everybody, welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. Let me go ahead and make sure, where's the keep stuff? I changed out some stuff. I think we are now, yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I did look into it, so we're just gonna lose that guy either way. So we're just not gonna try to keep him. And we're gonna go to the city, I believe is our next quest. So day 7, hour 7, 5-1. Yeah, we're gonna go to Woedica. Let's see. So I believe we need to go this way. And then yeah, we'll go from there.
That's it!
Brave thou sea lot.
That's it!
Let's see if we can find anything useful out here.
Brave thou sea lot.
I have!
That's the second time we kind of had this little, I don't know if to call it a glitch, but yeah, a little hiccup where, yeah, technically we haven't explored all this, but for some reason the fog of war just kind of disappeared entirely. Oh, don't know why it's doing that. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this woman's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. You see a group of robed figures sitting next to a fire. This woman, much younger and smaller, sits with them. They are discussing travel and making plans, deciding which road will get them to their destination fastest. A rustling noise catches the attention of several members of the group, and they stand watching over the fire, straining against the darkness to see. An enormous, shadowy figure makes its way into the camp, and the darkness slowly parts against the firelight to reveal who it is. Many members of the group stand, readying weapons. Others quietly invoke their god, preparing spells for battle. The girl looks around confused when the man sitting next to her stands, holding out his arms. He chastises the others in the group for not showing the proper hospitality to a stranger. The man walks toward the ogre, hand extended, speaking words of welcome in its own tongue. The ogre stares at the man for a brief moment, then, with a swiftness seemingly unnatural for a being of its size, it swings the club it had been dragging behind itself. It connects with the man's head, causing a wet, crushing sound. The woman to the girl's right screams and rushes to the man's side, covering half the distance before the man has even fallen to the ground. From the darkness all around the group, terrifying and blood-curdling shouts across answer the screams of those in the camp as more figures approach through the darkness. Damn! That's taken out by an ogre. Not great. Thanks for the camp supplies, though.
Brave thou. Brave thou. Ixi an.
That's it!
Woedica. Of course.
Wine dregs swirl around the bottom of the clay jar. Okay. We're almost done with this area. I just want to clear it out, and then we'll move to the west. So that way we can make it to the city, to Defiance Bay, and the Temple of Woedica there.
Hush, Itumak. We'll just wait a little longer.
Yay, I found you! A dwarven woman dressed in skins and hides leans against the road marker. Her face is turned down, her eyes darkened by a thick stripe of face paint. She's sharpening a bone arrowhead with a scrimshaw-handled knife. Her attention, however, is focused on a bare figurine between her feet. The large white-furred fox standing at her heels looks up at your approach.
Easy, Itumak. It's not him.
What are you waiting for?
Short version? I'm looking for a very, very old friend. I'm not sure what skin he's wearing now, but I'll know him when I see him.
Can I help you find him? She stops sharpening her arrowhead and slowly folds her arms. That's an interesting question. The last helpful stranger only succeeded in lightening my purse. I think I'll handle this on my own. Your friend is supposed to meet you here?
That's what I heard. Of course, the man who told me so was carrying a staff he claimed was made from dragon bone, but I know whitewood when I see it. That should have been my first clue, but I had to try something.
She rolls her eyes and shakes her head. Back up. What does the stranger have to do with your friend?
The long version. Here we go. I'm from an island to the far south called Nasitak. I came here looking for a village elder, a man we knew as Persok. I'm a hunter back home, so tracking someone wouldn't normally be a problem. But Persok's trail is cold, to say the least.
Her shoulders rise and fall as she takes a deep breath. Why can't you find him? There can't be that many of your people in the Deerwood. He died when I was still a young girl. Forgot to mention that part, did I? I'm looking for his latest reincarnation, which could be anyone. How long have you been looking for Persok? Her painted brows lower and her compact, muscular frame sags for just an instant. 5 years. So you've been searching 5 years for a stranger you barely remember, who could be anyone now.
That about sums it up.
She gives you a slow, thoughtful nod. Why do you have to find Persok? She smiles wryly. That's more of a campfire tale. I'm not quite ready to get into it. Then it must be an important duty.
So I keep reminding myself. Still, it would be nice if important duties came with clearer instructions.
She looks at the Adra figurine in the dirt. How does that statuette figure into it? She dusts the figurine on her trousers and raises it in her small, flat palm. It's carved in the shape of a bear, smooth and round. The polished Adra is worn to a dull mat along its arched back and avoid hunches. A soft glow emanates from within.
Cute, isn't it? It belonged to Persok. Before he returned to the wheel, he left a splinter of his soul in it. Something to help us find him later.
As she holds it out to you, you feel wisps of sensation. Not quite memories, but traces of someone.
When I left Nasitak, it was completely dark inside. But as I've gotten closer to Persok, it's glowed steadily brighter. Since I've reached the Deerwood, however, it's gotten hard to read. Some days it flickers and goes dark. Others it shines nice and bright. For a few hours. But most of the time it looks just like this.
I could take a look at it.
I've heard that one before. Whole reason I'm standing here is because some so-called watcher from Forkvale told me he could take a look. For a few golden dukes, of course.
She eyes you cautiously.
I was on my way out of the Balmarsh when I heard talk of a traveling mystic who could supposedly see souls. I knew it was a long shot, but what did I have to lose? I went to see this fellow and gave him the Audra figurine. He made a big show of moaning and rolling his eyes, and after I'd given him 5 golden dukes to lift the shroud, he told me to seek the crossroads in the field between the Wolf's Lair and the twining trees.
What's the Wolf's Lair? Defiance Bay. Locals call the current Duke Wolfgren. Sounds like he'd be fun to drink with. Is Twinning Trees a real place? He meant Twin Elms. I haven't been there yet, but I hear they have some especially memorable trees. Go on.
He thought he was being vague, but I know the area well enough to recognize that he meant this place, right between Defiance Bay and Twin Elms. I had a bad taste in my mouth, but my coin was spent and I'd already left an arrow in his knapsack as a friendly warning. Told him I'd come back and leave him with another if it turned out he was giving me the runaround. I've been here a week now. Guess he had the last laugh after all.
You could still go after that false watcher. She swats at the air. I was mostly trying to scare him. I wouldn't really kill a man over a few gold pieces. I don't have much use for coin anyway. Besides, knowing his type, he's cleared out of town by now and spent whatever he made. May I see the figurine?
Why?
She looks at the Audra bear and then back to you, her eyes narrowed. I'm a real watcher.
You expect me to believe that? After the story I just told you?
She chuckles. You've got nothing to lose by letting me try.
Fine. But if you try to run, just remember that my arrows are faster.
She hands you the figurine, her chapped knuckles grazing your hands. She watches you examine it, wary but curious. You raise the Audra bear, turning it in the light. As your eyes catch a tiny glinting scratch, the scenery around you melts away. You're standing on a cliff overlooking the water, seeing through eyes that aren't your own. You catch the musk of beast amidst the fresh scent of vegetation, and your heart beats a little faster. You'll have to watch your step up here. You look down just long enough to see the sharp, pale cliffs drop into the water hundreds of feet below you. I see a vision of cliffs high over the water. Does that sound familiar? Your question is greeted with shrugs and silence. Well, I've got it. He's standing on a cliff.
What are you talking about? What just happened?
She looks at the Audra bear herself, turning it a few times. She looks back at you. I told you, I'm a watcher. She blinks at you a few times, calculating. I know this sounds strange, but it's the truth.
You realize I've got no coin to give you, even if I did believe you.
Come with me. I've got other business in the area, and we can look for a Persok on the way.
If this is your idea of a joke, you may be stuck with me for a while.
Sagani looks at you. Sagani looks at you, her arms folded across her chest. She tucks the figurine into her pocket and her fox stands, shaking its pale coat. Yay, new party member! Woo! So, we will eventually help with looking for Persoc. Now that we've got her on the team, and I think this gives us a full party. I think 6 is where it maxes out on party size, but there will be other optional companions as we continue this game with their own little side quests as well. So yeah, we're gonna cross the bridge. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. You see a ship being tossed about in a storm. Ravaged sea. The swells rise and fall, carrying the ship with them, as if it were a toy. This man stands on deck at the helm of the ship while water whips around him. The crew moves around frantically, trying to keep the chaos under control. He barks orders at them, pointing where to go and giving each one a task. The men, while still visibly distressed, seem to calm down when they are given their orders. He instructs the helmsman to resume his duties at the wheel and rushes to the aid of a crewman who is struggling with a rope attached to one of the sails. The ship crests a wave, going almost vertical in one direction and then immediately again in the other direction. Several of the crew are thrown from their feet, sliding across the deck as the ship is rocked. After the swell passes and the ship returns to a relatively normal orientation, the man quickly scans the deck, counting silently. Not one has been lost this time, thankfully. He looks in the direction they're headed, seeing no reprieve from the storm in sight. His jaw squared and his upper lip stiffened. He returns to the helm and takes the wheel again. You see a flurry of matted white hair and an incandescent freeze fire staff before you see the man, cold and wild. He chews a wizened apple slowly, discharging spell after spell into the jumble of villagers screeching their way towards him. Cold flames vents from his nose and apple seeds shoot out the side of his mouth as he saunters forward, ignoring arrows and curses alike. A deliberate twist of his staff and a bullet of force glides through the torso of one assailant and another. A roar blisters his throat as he launches himself into their midst, tearing into their essence with his staff. A pleading hand reaches towards him and quickly falls, ignored. Silence takes hold as the tattered man gathers his prize, a basket of fresh pears he hums as he eats.
Defiance Bay, the city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution, now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by White One's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
Alright, we found ourselves in Defiance Bay proper now. So we are
The
happily
city
on our
of
way.
Defiance, crown jewel of the Deerwood, if you ask the locals, anyway.
I don't think we will be finding the temple proper today. And we definitely won't be getting in, because even if we find it, I believe you have to have a certain score with their approval system, right? Similar to how we have a lot of good approval within the other village, we have to do the same thing sort of here before we can truly get some of what we need there. And we only have a minute left, so...
Well met, friend.
Let's get a room. We have plenty of copper to spend. Very Baldur's Gate. To be fair, this is inspired by that type of game. Oh, somebody wants to talk to us, but we will talk to her next time, as we are out of time. So, thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and if you really like our content, check out the Patreon, which is linked down below, where you can watch our content before it's released publicly on YouTube. Also, be sure to check out our Discord, also linked down below, to become part of our community, and I will see you all next time. Have a good one. Bye.